Okay, sorry about the background noise. It's nothing I can control, so my apologies. I'm sure you guys have heard of the new show that came out, Velma. I'm not really going to take a deep dive into the show because I haven't watched it, but I kind of wanted to talk about how, like, reboots of shows and franchises fail sometimes, and like why I think they do, especially this one. I think it really all comes down to how much they changed the idea of it, and I think that's what really happened with this show. There was just too many changes, and it honestly doesn't feel like we're watching Scooby Doo anymore. And about Scooby Doo, just actual Scooby Doo, I feel like Scooby Doo isn't really something you should change too much. It doesn't need to be changed like a lot, because I feel like Scooby Doo is like, it's kind of perfect, and it's been around for a while. It doesn't seem like a franchise where the fans would be happy if it got changed a lot. And I'm gonna talk about some main changes and how I feel about them, and like the biggest change that I think ruined it. Okay, first I want to start off with the fact that this is an adult show. Scooby Doo is originally for kids, but this show is for adults. It has adult jokes, it has cussing. I actually do not think that's the biggest problem with this. I think that, well, the people who were Scooby-Doo veterans, like people who grew up with Scooby-Doo, like Scooby-Doo is an old show. Like, I'm pretty sure most Scooby-Doo kids are adults now. I don't know a lot of like kids nowadays, like 6-year-olds who watch Scooby-Doo. It's more of an older show, and I think most of the people who did watch Scooby-Doo are, like I said, adults. So I don't really think that's a problem. Do I think it was needed? Not really, but like I said, I think this could have been, that idea could have been executed better. Like a Scooby-Doo adult show, like maybe that would appeal to some people. I think it would actually appeal to a lot of people, but a lot of people would have thought that would be a funny idea, but the show's not funny. So that's a problem. The second change that a lot of people are talking about is the change in the appearance of our characters. There were a few race swaps, culture, ethnicity swaps. There were differences in the original 4 characters, Fred, Daphne, Velma, and Shaggy. And some people were angry about that. Some people were really mad, like, oh my gosh, just keep them the race they are. And some people were whatever about it and different. Some people were like, yes, this is amazing. This is inclusive. I honestly didn't care. I was pretty indifferent about it. But to me, it seems like one of those forced race swaps. The kind of race swap where it's like they think like it's gonna make the show better somehow, and like it's just gonna be more inclusive and everybody's gonna love it and be like, oh my gosh, guys, they made Shaggy black. Wow. I feel like that's kind of like how they think people will react, and I feel like TV does that a lot. Or reboots nowadays, they change the race thinking it somehow makes it better. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying I don't like it. I mean, it really depends on the character too sometimes. Like, for instance, like, imagine if they made like Black Panther like Asian. That would not make any sense. Like, if the race is tied to the character, like, really don't just don't change it. But if it's just kind of like a random character where it doesn't really matter what the race is, like, I mean, usually I don't care, but I feel like they're trying to impress someone, and it's like, who though? Who are you trying to impress? To me though, it wouldn't have made the show bad. Changing the race of the characters is not going to make the show bad. Like, I don't really care if Daphne's Asian. I don't care if Velma is, what is she, Indian? I really hope, let me search it up before I get canceled. Yeah, Velma's Indian and Shaggy's black. Like, I don't think that ruined the show. Like, the fact that they're different races. Like, you could make a good show with a race swap. Like, race swap, it could end up being good. I don't think that just all of a sudden makes the show bad. I don't think it makes the show all of a sudden really good, and I don't think it makes the show all of a sudden bad. It's just a race swap. I really don't think that's a change that really hurt the show, perhaps. Well, I mean, some people might be upset with it, but to me, I don't really think it takes down the quality of the show. The biggest problem to me, though, is the fact that the characters, Fred, Daphne, Velma, and Shaggy, are not really the same characters anymore. And no, I'm not talking about the fact that Shaggy's name is Norville in this. That's his actual name It's been that this whole time. I don't know why they're calling him that now. I don't know. I think they were just trying to be quirky and different, but whatever. That is his name. I'm not talking about that. So let me explain. When I say the characters aren't the same, really, I mean, yeah, they have the same names, but they don't act the same, like, at all. And it is an adult show. So maybe they'll act a little bit more inappropriate, a little bit more adult-like. But they don't have the same personality. You could make this an adult show, but make them have the same personalities as they did before. Let's start with Fred. The Fred I've always known is like the kind of guy who's just like, he's a jock, but he's kind of nerdy. He just likes making traps. He likes solving mysteries. Like, let's split up, gang. He's this cool leader. He's there for the team. Like, he's caring. Maybe he's kind of stuck up, but he cares. Like, he's not a jerk. And this show just made him a jerk, like a stuck-up jerk. Norville, I don't even know what to say about him. Since I haven't watched the show, I haven't heard a lot about him, which is weird. Shaggy's supposed to be, like, funny. Like, he's supposed to be, like, comic relief, and I have not heard, like, a single word almost about Norville, except some changes, but, like, I've seen clips. I don't know. I don't know if he's the same dude. Like, he doesn't seem like it. Daphne, I mean, she's just boring and not at all likable. Honestly, I think Daphne was, like, in the previous shows, was, like, the character with, like, the least personality, but I still liked her. Like, she was fine. Like, she was there. Like, come on. Like, it's Daphne. You can't forget Daphne, but in this show, she just seems like a boring jerk. Everyone seems like a jerk in this show. And then Velma, who they literally ruined, is now just a jerk. Like I said, she's just a big meanie. A big fat meanie. What can I say? Like, Velma was smart, but like, she wasn't constantly like putting people down and calling them idiots and acting like they were stupider than her. Like, she was smart, but she actually wanted to help. Like, she just wanted to solve mysteries. She wasn't full of herself. Velma, like, honestly, like, in the previous shows was kind of my favorite character. Like, she was just like, she literally carried the team a lot of times, but now, like, what is this? They made Velma like a complete imbecile. Like, she's just a jerk now. Like, she's smart, but like that's her only personality that's positive, the fact that she's smart. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest problem with this. I think the two changes that I mentioned before were changes that did not affect the quality that much. Like, this, if executed well, this could have been fine, but the last change, I think, is what really made this show suck. And don't get me started on the fact that Scooby Doo's not in it. Like, this is Scooby. Like, this came from the show Scooby Doo, and Scooby Doo's not in it. I think they'd butcher him, so I guess this may be for the better good. But like I said, I think changing franchises, like, way too much just results in it not being good. Like, if you're making a reboot and you change it too much, it's just not gonna be good or well received. And I think that's what happened here. I mean, there are other shows like that, like Teen Titans Go, or this show that literally I don't think anyone talks about. I think anyone who has seen it wants to forget about it. Thundercats Roar, which was like a reboot of Thundercats that literally only had one season. Like, nobody wants that. And Teen Titans Go, like I said, if you watch the original Teen Titans Go was a disgrace. Like, no, those aren't my characters. That's not my Teen Titans. That's not my Raven. That's not my Cyborg. You know, like, come on. Too many changes, I think, makes people or the audience turn against your show. I mean, if it's a loved franchise and a popular franchise, like, people will just turn against you. And I think a show on Velma would be pretty cool, like, mainly on Velma, but they did not execute this well, so yeah, that's a problem. But that's about it. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it, subscribe if you want more content like this. I will see you guys next time.